Okay, fam, welcome back. So today we're going to be going over the buy, sells, and dividends for the week of April 20th through the 26th. So with that being said, let's get it. All right, so M1 Finance, we always start here. In terms of the dividends this week, we got 762 from RA, 368 from USOI, and 13 cents from EFC. We have not really purchased a lot of assets on this portfolio for quite some time. There are reasons for that. We will eventually at some point, just not quite yet. So the total dividends you can see on the left there is 70. Second to left, my bad, 1143. And going over the Robinhood portfolio, so the dividends that we got this week from Robinhood was AIPI at 4171, XDTE 1049, IWMI 11 cents, which is the ETF we've been buying this week, and Triple QI with 2316. So let's go ahead and take a look at those. We'll start with AIPI here. This particular ETF is really only best held in a uptrending market, so there's that. But I mean, the dip has dipped so much at this point that it kind of almost makes sense to buy it, because if there is upside, it's going to be pretty huge. So there's the dividend right there, 41.71. Okay, next one here, XDTE. And again, we do plan on adding more to AIPI and XDTE at some point. We just want to get each one of these positions to at least $30 a month. So there is the 1049 right there from XDTE. The IWMI, we're not going to go over that one because it's such a small amount. We'll go over that next month when it actually matters, when it's a significant amount. So, but you guys know we've had a fractional share or whatever for eons at this point. So let's see here, Triple QI, got to find it. There it is. So just about 53 shares. I mean, we could buy more at this point, but it's already gone up quite a bit since we bought. As you guys can see, it's up 4.43%. So 2316 right there. Obviously, these particular ETFs, as the Triple QI, IWMI, SPYI, GPIC, and GPICs should all five of those should be paying increased dividends as the markets go up, because obviously it gets paid out of the share price, right? So the total dividends for that, $75.47 on the left over there. We made $99 on the Soxal calls that we had. They got called away for a profit, so that's the reason why the cash position we have right now is so large, because those got called away. So obviously it freed up money, right? That's how covered call works. So we're going to take a look at that right now. It kind of sucks that we didn't wait for the price to go up. Perhaps next time that we do this, we will, so that way we can also not just get the premiums, but capture some more of the upside on top of that. So, let's see here. So 31.49. I can tell you guys right now. Just go ahead and pull up the calculator. And again, don't have the numbers right in front of me, but you guys can go back to previous videos and verify the average was indeed 1017 per share, was the average that we had at 300 shares. So you can see the 3051, the difference between that and basically 3150 is essentially roughly about $100 or $99. That's where that comes out of. So that covers the profit, and then the premiums. So we got 50 here on this 950 put. And then we closed that one out for $15. So essentially 35 on that one, and then 40 here for the 11 strike put, and then 49 for the 1150 strike put. And again, it's not always a great idea to do puts in an up market or calls in a down market, but in this case, it's really a win-win. If Soxal keeps ripping to the moon and we have these puts on, then the value of the contract just fades that much faster, and we can buy it back for pennies on the dollar, even if we don't get assigned. And then we can hedge against that position by buying spot shares directly off the market. So that way, if we don't get assigned, we still get the shares, and we can turn around and write covered calls too. So the total premiums comes out to $124 for the weekly amount of $309.90. Again, it's not really a lot, but the markets are down right now, so we're mainly in accumulation mode at this point, not necessarily looking to make profits, although I'm sure we probably could on daily options plays on buying puts and calls and whatnot, but we're not ready to get into that particular endeavor just yet. So the positions that we bought this week, which is the last thing we're going to cover, again, this is an accumulation week at this point. TSLL, Triple QI, APLD, ALT, GPIC, IWMI, and RGTI. As you guys know, 3 of those are swing trades. The other 4, 3 of those are swing trades. 3 of those are dividend ETFs, and then 1 of those is for the wheel strategy, which we are currently just in the accumulation / cash secured puts on TSLL. So you guys can see here, TSLL has had a really good week last week. Whether it continues to do that going forward or not, that remains to be seen. But in the last week, it's gone up a monstrous 37%, or about $3 a share. Again, this is a 2x Tesla fund. So it's very volatile in both directions. You got to keep that in mind if this is something you guys want to do. So we have 1,520 shares here at 1183. That's the current stack that we have. And just taking a look at the buys here, we also have some orders QA'd for Monday as well, because, why the hell not, right? And the Soxwell shares got called away, so might as well just buy more. So going back here, you can see all the different transactions, right? 30, 10, 40, 50. Bought back one of the puts that we had for pennies on the dollar, basically, and then 10 shares, 10 shares. And then there's the QA order for Monday for TSLL. It's basically just 10 shares. We don't want to be buying too much TSLL at these current prices, because if it does pull back again, then we can obviously buy more for less, right? So kind of just slowly nibbling at the position right now. So Triple QI, I think we did this one this last week because we were trying to top it off, if I'm not mistaken. Take a look at that real quick. So okay, so we got 4.56 here. You can see 4.42, 19.04, 4.325. And the dividend, obviously. And it makes sense to buy these dividend ETFs at these levels because it's relatively cheap. We've already gone over the whole oversold signal on the weekly and how that's only popped up 5 times in the last 7 years. Again, people that don't want to buy these dips end up regretting it later when the prices run up to stupid levels and they're trying to chase the top and then they get dumped on. And it's just a vicious cycle that repeats on and on and on. So for us, it does make sense to buy at these levels, but obviously we're not going to go all in, right? Need to be double hedged here. If it goes up, we got skin in the game. If it goes down, we have cash on hand. So either way, we're good. So 776 here, 214.87 on APLD. And just going down here real quick, you can see the last buy that we had was this last week. So 48.08 shares at 416. And again, the strategy for the swing trades, not TSLL and Soxwell, even though technically those are swing trades, those are not really swing trades. Those are more for options premiums. The actual swing trade stocks, the strategy for that is to take profits on the way up and add to positions on the way down. Again, the golden cross signal on the 4-hourly time frame does have about an 80 to a 90% hit rate. So when it triggers, 80 to 90% of the time, it is going to play out the first time around. But on rare occasions, you'll have that failed breakout where it just pulls back and then it's under the EMAs for a while. In that situation, we want to be buying. So that's pretty much what we're doing right now. It's just another way to, buy shares on the cheap and basically grow the portfolio over time without having to make actual profits. Okay, so ALT here, 617 per share, 261.76. And we bought a little bit more of this week. So 8.47 shares at 590 and then 39.25 at 510. And the next one here is going to be GPIC. And at this point, we're probably pretty much done buying GPIC. We got to the $30 a month. So the next goal on this is 50. We'll talk about that in a minute. So 0.34 shares here at 43.12. Again, that's not really that much. Basically, we just, whatever premiums we get paid, we pretty much just shove that back into the markets in some kind of position, typically dividend ETFs. It's another way to accelerate the growth of these positions without having to use extra capital per se. Okay, so IWMI here. We'll take a look at this real quick. So most of the positions starting fresh was bought this week. So 4.76, 41.98. Basically 18.9 shares, 18.93, and then 4.25 here, and then the relatively small dividend with another Q8 position for Monday. And last but not least here, RGTI, and we're not really buying Fate because again, it went down to like 67 cents and then pretty much ripped all the way back up to where our cost basis is. So we don't really want to be buying when it's at break even. We kind of just want to hold. We only really want to buy the dip and then sell the rip. And then if it's relatively within like maybe 5% of the cost basis underwater, then we just simply want to hold at that point. So 10.29 per share here, 156.52 on RGTI, and then for this one we recently bought another 21.76 shares. Okay, so in terms of the dividend ETFs that we have stacked up to $30 a month at this point, it's GPIC, Triple QI, ACP, PDI, but we got to top those up because it's a little bit beneath that, and then XDTE, AIPI, and SPYT. With IWMI in the works. So once we get that, that will be, looks like 7 out of, hold on a sec. No, my bad. It'll be 8 out of 12. So we'll have 8 out of 12 at that 30. And then we still got to get GPICs, JEPQ, SCHD, and BSTZ. Get those up to 30, and then we can wrap it up to 50, 70, and 100, like I told you guys before. And then TSL and SOXL, we're still going to have those for options premiums. So that's pretty much everything that's going on right now. Hope you all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.